So you guys are up at, what do you say, you're in the Bronx now?
No, Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn,
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived there a couple of times.
Actually, a friend of mine moved into our old apartment in that building.
Really?
Yeah, but she's having the same problems we had with like the water not working and
That's
the rent.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling people nowadays. Now, why do you want to pay that kind of rent in a 100-year-old building and things are going to break down and you got to walk 5 flights of stairs? You know, we did this when we were young and it was cheap. So you figure, well, okay, we'll walk 5 flights of stairs, an old building, but hey, I'm paying $50 a month rent. Who cares? You know what I mean?
Bye, Roger. Have a good night.
Yeah,
I'll see you
too.
tomorrow. Yeah?
You
Maybe?
said that the other day and you didn't see you
But
weren't here.
I'll be here tomorrow.
You know, I never had to get anything against people making money. That's never been my impetus for life. But if that's what somebody else... But see, in the old days, even right here in New York, I grew up in New York, there was a neighborhood for everybody. In other words, there was imaginary lines that people respected, like rich people didn't go to live in poor areas unless they just wanted to mingle. They didn't want to take over, you know, have everybody gone and then buy up the buildings and sell them as condos. That didn't go on. Like for instance, in the 60s, we had rich kids coming down here. But they only came down here because they thought we were cool and they wanted to hang out with us. However, they would be derogatory at times because you would hear them and they'd say stuff like, I'm slumming right now. And I'd be like, excuse me, but Greenwich Village is not the slums. I understand it's not Park Avenue, it's not Madison, I understand that, but give me a break sometimes. But you know, from their perspective, it was slum. Oh, I'm slumming, they used to say. Yeah, you know, the only thing that's left now in the village is the ratio, which has been around since 1927. And I guess what's that, the bitter end, which Paul Colbio, he just died like a couple of years ago. He was like 98 or something, you know, so he lived pretty much for a long time. I mean, he retired and went to Florida, but he died there. And I don't know, I don't think there's too much anything else, actually. Well, I guess the Washington Square Diner, that's been there forever, you know, but it's there. The Vanguard is still there. The Vanguard goes back to way. I remember the Vanguard when you could go in there, they didn't care. You could sit through 2 or 3, like, you know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now it's more touristy, although it's not like, when I hear it, it's not like the one on 3rd Street or something. That one's very touristy. You know, they get you in, then make you pay for drinks, and get in, and then get out after the act is over. What the hell is that called again? It's a jazz spot, you know, it's right there. So, there's not very much left.
Smalls.
Smalls, I've heard of Smalls, yeah. I don't know what that is. There used to be this other club called Slugs, but that was on the Lower East Side. They got closed down because a famous musician got shot to death in there. What happened is he had this girlfriend, he was cheating on her, and she found out about it, and she came into the bar where he was at Slugs and said, you're cheating on me, pulled a gun and killed him. And they closed the place down after that.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't imagine. You don't want a girlfriend like that.
Yeah, it's really winter time. I helped build the things for me.
You're cheating on me. Yeah, and there was a fame, and I can't remember where it was, but it was somebody famous, somebody that a lot of people knew. I'll never forget it. I think it was 67. During the summer of love, I walked by there, and Bob Dylan was sitting in there, scribbling on paper, and he had paper all over the floor because he kept writing and didn't like what he was writing, and he would crumple them up. I was a typical hippie, so I'm not going to bother him. I just walked by. Later on, I wondered, what song was he writing? Why did I go in and just like, you know, say hello or something? Oh, pick up some of those. Oh, I didn't think of that part. Hey, how are you?
How are you?
You know, it's another day.
It's a good day.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta use the restroom, otherwise I'd sit and talk.
All right. Okay. You know what the French say? Mention my name, you'll get a good seat.
I need a good seat.
Yeah.
You my pants.
Oh no. You don't want that to happen.
I know. Of course, the cars are here.
Yeah, of course. That's par for the course. Yeah. So anyway, sometimes I just wonder, I believe that there is a creator, but I wonder why he created or she created what she created. It's baffling. It's baffling. Why would you create a universe, with all that living, breathing stuff, and probably on unknown planets that have, other beings on them? What's the purpose?
Think there's other beings out there?
Oh, absolutely. Come on. I mean, it would be impossible not to have the being. I think, anyway. Plus, I've seen crafts since I was 6 years old.
You've seen what?
Crafts, crafts made out of
like
some
UFOs?
form. Yeah. And I know they weren't Earth. I don't know where they were from. I have no idea. But so I think in our evolution, maybe like about 400,000 years ago, when man was still evolving, there might have been beings who came and taught us how to, farm, how to make tools, how to count days, give us some mathematical stuff. Why not?
Hey, were you ever you were around when the Chelsea Hotel was big and?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I had a boss once in '68. I worked for this guy. He lived on the top floor. They were top floor apartments up there, and he was a Russian painter. Although he fled the Nazis during World War II, and then joined the army here, so he was more American, but he was Russian. His name was Russian, everything. But anyway, yeah. And also, when I spent 5 hours with Janis Joplin, she had a room at the Chelsea, and she offered to go there 3 different times. Blew her off 3 times. And on the 3rd time, she said, "All right, I'm out of here." Well, she didn't say out of here, but she said,
What's that? There's a story, Leonard Cohen.
Oh yeah, he was. She gave him a blowjob. Hey, he wrote the famous Blue Raincoat. That was about that.
Did you ever see him play around here?
I met Leonard Cohen on the McGill University campus in 1973. I was living there. I spent a winter there, and the McGill University was right there. I had a street. There was a street there. And I was crossing it to get to another. There was a boulevard, Sherbrooke it was called, and you would cross the campus. You could go around there, it was longer, but if you crossed the campus, it was short. So I was crossing the campus one day, and I saw him coming the other way. At first, I didn't recognize it because he was at a distance, but then he got closer and closer, and I thought, oh shit, because I love Leonard Cohen, he was great. Even his last album, I heard that right before he died, he still had it all the way. Not many guys have it all the way, not many people that are, at a certain point, it levels off, and then you've done all the good you could do. You still may be good, but you're not really. But he had it all the way until the end. I was one of his biggest fans, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I got into him from the first day go, which was like Suzanne. When we all heard Suzanne, you know that song, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, he was an incredible guy, really. I had his records. I had at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 of his records, but I never saw him live. I wish I had, because I knew people who did, and they said, wow, his shows were phenomenal. He sounded just as good as on a record. He was kind of a spiritual guy, very spiritual, actually. Most of his poetry is, but at one point he went into some kind of a monastery, a retreat. And while he was in this retreat, his manager stole all his money. When he came out of the retreat, he found out he had no money. That's why in the end he was touring, because he had no money left. His freaking agent. It was either his agent or his manager. I forget, one of those 2 bastards stole all his money. You heard about that, right?
Yeah, it's a classic story. Grandfather always said, never trust a banker or a lawyer. And I feel like agent falls into that category.
Especially if you become world famous.
Yeah.
Where's my throne and my castle if I'm a king?
Oh, yours is really carried.
The King of Greenwich Village? That's you?
You can get all these legendary stuff. But here you are on the fucking street, living on the street. It's like one of those ironies of life that I don't know if you could ever understand in a million years.